Line is hot.
Primary Arms has built its reputation on delivering solid, entry-level optics. With each successive generation, the optics have become more feature-rich and have still remained at affordable ends of the spectrum. Today they still offer entry-level optics as well as a few high-end models with the ACS reticle system. The latest generation of PA optics has introduced to us the SLX MD-25 series of red dots. I received a demo model from Marshall at Primary Arms with no other instructions other than an all clear to review. Let's begin to check out the MD-25 and see if it stays true to the form. High quality for low cost. The MD-25 is a 25mm red dot sight, which aims to offer a larger field of view over the microdots while keeping the weight and profile down to a minimum. Consider it a hybrid size between the full Aimpoint Pro and a micro T2 style sight. It's a nice format for shooters who want more parallax-free wiggle room in a challenging shooting position. The sight is jet black with uniform anodizing, with a PA laser engraving and a recessed PA badge. The window itself is free of defects, and the edges of the glass are free from excessive adhesive. The glass is lightly tinted to an almost imperceptible hue of blue. The interior of the optic is cleanly machined, and the erector tube is scalloped to reduce internal reflection and glare. No dust or adhesive is noted inside the optical body. The emitter is smooth and low profile. It is positioned at a 9 o'clock setting. The machined windage and elevation caps are snug and loosen under O-ring friction, which gives way to a smoothly threaded cap. The windage and elevation turrets are slotted to accept a coin or to use the inverted caps from the turrets themselves. The tension from audible click to click is stiff but feels precise. Each click is half a minute. The rheostat adjustment on the side of the optic feels slightly rubbery when turned, and the detents are not as defined between the settings, but this is only a minor criticism. There are no dead spaces between each of the 11 settings, and you won't have trouble feeling each as you cycle through them. The rheostat sticks out further than competing brands, but with both eyes open, this will not be a large concern. The mount is, by far, the best mount I have encountered in a budget optic. Comparing to the mount included with the Holosun series of optics, the MD-25's mount is far more confidence-inspiring. The foot clamp is as wide as the mount and is secured by two large Torx head bolts, which then thread into steel fittings on the other side of the mount. Included is some thread locker to secure the screws against vibration. The optic also ships configured for absolute co-witness but can be converted to lower third or higher with included spacers. Finally, in the package, it also includes a low-profile spacer for other rifle applications. For a budget optic, the package feels confident. When clamped to the receiver, it feels solid and secure. With my Holosun, I felt the need to immediately find a new mount for the optic, but this will not be the case with the MD-25. I feel out of the box, it is a more complete package. I mounted the MD-25 to my PSA 10.5-inch pistol kit. This is my budget build, and I felt it was a good fit for the MD-25 as it represents a lightweight, basic kit that does everything you need it to do. The dot is crisp and bright, and at settings 9 through 11 it was visible at point blank with a 600 lumen weapon light activated inside a dark environment. One thing of note is that I felt the dot was cleaner and more round than my Holosun 403R, which was a bit more of a streak. It's unknown if this will vary from unit to unit, or perhaps I just got a good one. Outside in full sun, I felt most comfortable with the MD-25 at setting 11. The dot was bright and easy to find, though somewhat less bright than my Holosun on its nuclear setting. However, the nuclear setting on the Holosun was something I have never felt the need for. Indoors, the best setting to preserve battery life and still maintain usefulness with a weapon light appears to be setting 9 on the MD-25. With an advertised 50,000 hours of battery life at the medium setting, consider that the battery life will be less than advertised if left on at a setting useful for self-defense inside the home. I sighted the MD-25 in at 25 yards and I began testing. The dot was given multiple impacts from waist to shoulder height and impacts from slamming the optic into the ground from a prone position and shooting between impacts. After each impact, I was able to ring steel both the 8-inch gong as well as the 3-inch gong, my skill notwithstanding, without issue. I started out with some gradual or lighter impacts and moved on to some more aggressive impacts into the dirt. There were also a few drops on the ground that didn't make cut into the film, but regardless, it seemed like the MD-25 just kept trucking regardless of what happened to it. After I finished the rough handling and impact testing, I took the optic to a water trough and let the optic sit for a few minutes. No air bubbles escaped from the MD-25, and upon removal, the optic appeared dry inside the body of the optic. For the remainder of my shooting session, no fog or moisture made itself present in the optic. After the dip, I began to drop the optic on a firmer surface which was comprised of a 2x6 pier. I then returned to the 100-yard line to shoot the 100-yard steel and then confirm my initial 25-yard zero with the sight and target at the same distance. The optic remained dead on and held zero. Throughout my range session, the MD-25 exhibited drama-free behavior. That's exactly what you want out of an optic. After my first range session, I realized I forgot to test parallax shift, so I headed back to the range for a quick test. I moved the dot in the window between 3, 6, 9, and 12 o'clock positions, and I was able to ring steel easily, minus my missed shot. The MD-25 continued to exhibit good behavior during parallax testing. The MD-25 is a robust, no-frills, entry-level red dot. At a retail price of $169, it would do well to help outfit several builds with a robust optic while keeping costs down. The mount is of particular interest, as it will not need replacing immediately as it appears overbuilt. This is not the case with some competitors where I felt the need to replace the mount immediately. At this price, I would give these an all clear if you're looking for a budget red dot option. The mount and larger viewing windows certainly tip the scales when comparing it to similarly priced budget red dots. My only complaint involves the rubbery rheostat, but that rubbery feel is likely due to a good O-ring seal. It certainly did not affect performance in any manner whatsoever. Primary Arms continues to refine its red dot lineup with each generation, and this one continues the tradition of high value for low cost. And now for the elephant in the room. Perhaps one day PA and other manufacturers will shift production away from China. But for now, the best budget red dots appear to come from China and other Asian countries. Primary Arms is an American company, and they've been pushing to improve the performance of overseas optics, and on that front, they've been improving upon and delivering solid entry-level optics for years. The embarrassing display from Loophole over at InRange shows us that entry-level, assembled in USA red dot cannot compete in price, features, or perhaps even durability. To get better products, you're going to need to spend much more money to keep it inside the USA. That's a decision you will have to make for yourself. I just review things, man. It's what I do. Alright, that's the end of the review. I hope you liked what you saw. Please like and subscribe. Also visit the blog at thenewrifleman.com. If you want to support us, you don't have to join Patreon, you don't have to do anything like that. Just simply click on one of the banners, Brownells, Palmetto State Armory, or My Medic, and do some shopping. We'll get a small percentage of the sale, and that will help keep us funded and giving you independent firearm reviews. Once again, a big thank you to Marshall from Primary Arms for sending over the MD-25. We have no financial relationship with Primary Arms in any way, shape, or form. He merely sent this over after a quick email, and it was in our hands for review. without any preconditions. Just review it. Big thanks, big thumbs up to Marshall for that. Alright, this is Lothan from The New Rifleman, signing out.